Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Nitrostorm here. Welcome back to Revive the Witch. So this is essentially, a different kind of video. You could say a PSA because I'm just telling you guys, a PSA that this PvP thing that we have, we say it's easy and stuff, but the PvP meta, it's definitely changed, right? And the reason why I'm saying this is because depending on the team comp that you guys have been using, there's a very, very high possibility that you guys might have lost at least one fight during your playthrough. Now, of course, if you've been, wailing or spending to get the unique equipments and been raising them, then for those of you and for those that have used a certain team comp, then you probably wouldn't have lost yet. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've been experimenting with different team comps in PvP just to see how they perform and stuff like that. For example, Magic team or Ella team or, Celanya team, just to see. Now, there's a plethora of different teams that you're fighting against now, like the ones that I mentioned. So I'll be showing them through the edit team section. So for the first team that we're going to be talking about is the classic Catherine, Celanya and Amorai comp. Now these three, they do pack a huge punch when you're fighting against these guys, and the whole team is well built, especially the Celanya, and she has the unique equipment. There's a very high chance that your team that are not tanky would be one shot by the Celanya herself, leaving your team into one person left, which is a very high chance of you losing. And for the most part, if you were to use this team yourself, you will see a very high rate of winning, but there are certain comps that you may lose to. And it will all depend on how raised your team comp is, especially your Celanya. So the two comps that I want you to be worried about when using this comp would be the Afallen comps, especially if so you would only worry about the Afallen comp if the Afallen herself is raised insanely well. Like she has her unique equipment at level 40 and everything, basically maxed out Afallen. If you fight against her with this team, there's a very high chance that you're going to lose. Now that could be alleviated if your Celanya's got a unique equipment as well, like very like highly raised. But if you have them leveled around here, no unique equipment, there's a very high chance that you're going to lose. Now the second comp I want you to worry about is the Ella comps, and mainly just the Ella where she's got her unique equipment as well, fully maxed out, very strong gear, because her generation is going to be insane, and it might be kind of difficult for you to defeat that if your Celanya is not raised enough. However, if your Celanya is raised enough, the Ella teams are no problem for you, and for Afallen there might be a slight issue. Now moving on to our next composition would be the Afallen comp that I've talked to you about. Now, unfortunately, I have tried her out in the certain comp. Hold a minute, guys. I think I have some internet problems here. I'll be back. Alright, we're back, guys. So, continuing on, the Afallen comp that I've talked to you about, which mainly consists of Afallen, Amanami, which I don't have on my free-to-play account, so I'll just use Mikoto. Just think of her as Amanami, okay? Think of her as Amanami. And then the third character would normally be either, it doesn't really matter between Maya or Ushpia, but normally you see Maya. Okay, so this comp, okay, remember this is Amanami, okay? So Afallen, Amanami, and either Ushpia or Maya. Now, this comp, you won't really see that often, but for the most part, your main issue against fighting these teams is the Afallen. If she's very well raised, you're going to have some trouble and may potentially lose as well. Now, in terms of attacking with this comp, unfortunately, I don't have that much experience. However, I think you'll be seeing good, good performance when it comes to this comp, because you do have a good balance between dispelling, protection, healing, and damage. And so, I guess in terms of battle speed, it might be a little bit longer than others, but I think for the most part it has good balance, but I can't really say for sure if they have a 100% win rate because I haven't used this team myself. So if you have used Afallen, Amanami and Maya comps in PvP, let me know how they perform. Alright, so moving on to our next comp, which is, I guess you could say, the bread and butter of the PvP realm at the moment, would be Ella, Metamorphoses and Tounel. So far, I've been using this comp myself for PvP and I've never really lost. Now, the requirements would have to be everyone has to be passive level 2. If any one of them is at least even passive level 1, then there's going to be a high chance that you're going to lose a fight. Because I've tried the same comp with my non-free-to-play account and everyone is passive level 2 except my Ella, and my team, and that team has lost against a random team. So you want everyone to be passive level 2 to ensure your victory. But yeah, so this team I've been using on full auto and they've been able to win against any comp for the most part. You might see some hiccup against other Ella comps if the Ella has a unique equipment and very tanky, but if your Metamorphosis is raised well enough, got good DPS stats and stuff like that, you'll have no problems against any other team because Ella will remove buffs, AoE, got good self-sustain alongside Tounel who can give you your chaos. Very well balanced team and able to defeat all teams. And other than that, there's other teams that you could see, people using Kepler, and maybe Parfait. I haven't seen any Parfaits yet, and other variations of Catherine teams that use Akasha or Akasha or Matt Vife instead of Celanya. But yeah, so you get the most part. So this video was mainly just to talk about certain team comps that you would face against and how you would potentially lose. But for the most part, when I use my Ella comp in PvP, when I fight against Celanya comps, there is a chance that my Metamorphosis and Tounel gets one shot by the Celanya, but I eventually still win because Ella's able to 1v3, so just to keep that in mind. In any case, we'll try out some PvP fights. So as you can see, this Afallen has a unique equipment, and then we'll just see how they'll perform. Okay, so two of them have unique equipments. But yeah, this is my Ella, and this is my Metamorphosis, and this is my Tounel. So we'll just quickly do this fight and see if we can face against the other examples that I have given to you guys. So the reason why this team comp, which I've showed before, pretty much works as your usual best team comp is because of the good balance between them. But as you can see, they did take some hefty damage, which is why the Afallen, you shouldn't really underestimate her, and Amanami as well with the unique equipment. So this one is a safer comp to fight against, in my opinion. Kepler doesn't really do that much. I think she's mainly single target, mainly a PvE character, which I would say is a better thing to be a PvE character than a PvP character, because in terms of this game at the moment, you have more game modes that is PvE based. But as you can see, we as per usual, we smoke the team. Now let's see if we can... Oh, perfect example. So this is what I'm talking to you about. When you find an Afallen like this, 100% of the time avoid her if you don't have the comp. Because if you try to use a semi Celanya comp like my Celanya, Ascent 4 level 40, passive level 2, that isn't enough even with good gear to beat this Afallen, because you're gonna end up having your Catherine get destroyed by Afallen's second skill thanks to her passive. So that's why I'm just telling you guys now, but be sure to take care when fighting her. But if you have a decently raised Ella comp, you should be able to win against the team. So we'll find out right now. The Afallen has 100k HP, by the way, just letting you guys know. Alright, well, time to see. Look at the team on my left side. You see that? They took some good they took a good amount of damage, but they did manage to survive, which is very important. I think the Akasha nearly took up my Tounel. But yeah. If you used a Celanya comp against that team, you would have lost. Guaranteed. Wanna know why? Because I've been experimenting and I have faced it firsthand. Alright, so this is your usual Catherine comp, but the Celanya herself isn't really that raised, so she's not going to be able to one-shot my comp. As you can see, a very light damage dealt to us, and pretty easy win. So PvP has evolved in the past few months, which is pretty interesting. What it means is basically that there's going to be some cases where you're unable to win your PvP fights unless you know what you're doing, right? But yeah, for the most part, if you want the TLDR of this video, is to basically just try and raise your Ella, Metamorphoses, and Tounel as much as you can. In terms of Ella's unique equipment, do I regret skipping her unique equipment? No, I would say no. It's a PvP thing. It would help you out a lot, but in terms of fighting Ellas that do have the unique equipment, I wouldn't worry about it at all, because Ella herself, even without the unique equipment, provides enough support for the Metamorphosis to deal big damage. So we'll do 3 more fights before we end the video. This comp, is pretty straightforward. It's not really a difficult one, so I'll try and refresh to find a more difficult team. Okay, I'll sacrifice 5 orbs just for you guys. Okay, this one. So this is a very good example. Now, if you were to fight a Celanya like this, there's a very high chance that your team is going to get wiped. Now, how to counteract this, I'm not really sure yet, because if you were to fight a mirror match, kind of, but instead of Tounel you use Amorai, the Celanya is going to still one-shot your team unless your side is faster. But yeah, it's a bit iffy. There's a little bit of RNG when it's a mirror match. But when it comes to other team comps, Celanya is going to be able to rip through. But because it's not Amorai, there's a chance that she's not going to one-shot your comp. But with this kind of stats, hey, there's still a possibility. So normally what happens when I fight a strong Celanya is that my Tounel and my Metamorphosis gets wiped, and then my Ella is forced to 1v3. So we're about to find out anyway, once we see the Celanya. Okay, so I think the one-shot only works if the third character is Amorai and not Tounel. See, if Tounel was Amorai in this comp, my Tounel and Metamorphosis would have been one-shot. Alright, what about this? So this one's a good example, kind of. We'll see if my Tounel gets one-shot, right? So theoretically speaking, right, because Celanya is able to one-shot, maybe my Akasha is able to one-shot my Tounel, so we'll see. So this team is pretty well raised. We'll just have to find out. Okay, no, I guess there's something wrong there. I don't think they're able to defeat. But yeah, if you see an Akasha, you could say pretty easy targets. Same for this one, another easy target. So I'll refresh to see if we can find the Celanya team. Okay, I'll show you an example of a not really well raised Celanya comp, and you'll see that the damage dealt only not I wouldn't say not well, as in not whale Celanyas. If the Celanyas not whale, they won't be able to one-shot your comp, and they're safe to fight against, as you can see. But yeah, I know you guys could argue that PvP is not really that important, but it will be annoying if you do lose, because you kind of missed out on 15 currency, you know what I mean? So this is just like a small PSA just to show you guys how to handle PvP in terms of recent, just to ensure that you don't lose your fights. And the TLDR for that, as I mentioned earlier, is to simply just go Ella, Metamorphosis, and Tounel. Here are their stats if you're curious. and last but not least Ella, and that's about it. So the reason why I made my Ella high attack is to utilize her first skill, where if she's in dragon form, her first skill also reduces their physical defense equal to 30% of Ella's attack, and so the higher Ella's attack, the more defense is reduced. But yeah, that's about it for PvP. You know, the TLDR is still the same Ella, Metamorphoses, and Tounel comp to win. Just ensure that everyone is well raised and passive level 2 to ensure that your win rate is 100% give or take. It wouldn't be 100% if your team's not as raised, so be sure to raise them. In any case, thanks for watching this PvP video. If you found anything useful, please leave a like and then comment down below if you have anything else to add or to ask. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.